If your AI fight scenes look stiff, floaty, slow, fake, or like two action figures smashing together, the problem probably isn't your AI model, it's you. And before people get mad, I'm saying that as someone who makes both AI-assisted fights and live-action fight scenes. Because the truth is, the exact same filmmaking fundamentals apply to both. Whether you're directing an AI lightsaber duel, a martial arts short film, a live-action knife fight, or a cinematic anime-style sequence, the audience still feels when something looks fake. And most people online right now are focusing on the wrong things. They think more effects, more particles, more spinning, more flashy movement, more chaos, too much choreography, everything looks too planned, automatically equals action. No. That's exactly why so many AI fight scenes and low-budget live-action fight scenes look terrible. There's no intent, no pacing, no aggression, no weight, no understanding of movement. And honestly, you can have the best AI model, best camera, best VFX, or best gear in the world, and your action will still look fake if you don't understand those fundamentals. So in this video today, I'm going to break down the biggest mistakes people make with both AI and live-action fight scenes, and how to instantly make your action look more cinematic, grounded, aggressive, and believable. 1. Speed. The first thing people completely mess up is speed. Most AI fight scenes are way too slow. And honestly, a lot of amateur live-action fight scenes are too slow. Real fights and cinematic fights are explosive. There's acceleration, sharp reactions, quick directional changes, sudden violence. Instead, most people create giant slow swings, awkward pauses, characters waiting to get hit, or choreography that feels overly cleaned and rehearsed. The too rehearsed look makes me crazy. It immediately kills the realism. One of the biggest things I learned directing both AI and live action scenes is this. Short movement looks faster, short movements look more violent. Short movements look more believable. You do not need giant baseball swings every 2 seconds. You need tight attacks, quick counters, pressure, fast pivots, and controlled aggression. Whether you're prompting AI or filming actors, the principle is exactly the same. A good fight scene should feel like the camera can barely keep up. That's why in my AI prompts and my live action choreography, I constantly push aggressive pacing, continuous movement, short explosive exchanges, and no dead air. That's when action starts feeling alive instead of robotic. 2. Intent. This is the biggest mistake by far. People direct fights around hitting weapons instead of hitting people. And once you notice it, you can never unsee it. Real fighters are trying to land attacks on the head, body, legs, neck, or any openings. Weapon clashes can only happen because someone is defending themselves under pressure. But most bad AI fights, and honestly a lot of indie live action fights too, look like two people politely clinking weapons together for the camera. There's no danger, no pressure, no aggression, no killer instinct. When I direct scenes, whether they're AI generated or live action, I constantly emphasize attacks aimed at the opponent, not the weapon. Look at these two shots here, one from Rurouni Kenshin live action and this film. See the difference? You don't have to be smart to figure this one out. That instantly makes scenes feel more dangerous, more cinematic, and more believable. The defense becomes reactive instead of choreographed. You do not want to look too choreographed. It looks worse than not having choreography at all. And that is what makes action feel real. 3. Movement. Another huge issue, people confuse movement with good movement. Just because your AI scene has a lot happening doesn't mean it looks cinematic. And just because your live action choreography is complicated doesn't mean it looks good either. In fact, most of the time, less is more. The best action usually comes from tight footwork, fast pivots, small explosive adjustments, controlled aggression, and momentum, not endless spinning. And look, I love stylized fights. I love anime. I love prequel Star Wars fights. I love martial arts films. I love the Rurouni Kenshin live actions. But even highly stylized fights still follow real principles of timing, weight, momentum, pressure, and rhythm. That's why certain fights feel good. There's a structure underneath the style. That's what you need to focus on whether you're writing prompts, directing actors, editing choreography, or generating cinematic AI shots, because the technology is there now. 4. Camera. This one is massive. Your camera movement matters just as much as the fight itself, and this applies to both AI and live action filmmaking. Most amateur fights fail because the camera just sits there like a security camera in a parking lot. Cinematic action should feel dynamic. You want push-ins, tracking, whip pans, slight handheld movement even, changing angles, and motion that reacts to the violence. But do it with intent. Don't blindly do it. The audience is smarter than you think. They'll know. The camera should feel involved in the fight. One of the fastest ways to make both AI and live action scenes feel more expensive is making the camera feel alive. Even subtle movement changes everything, but remember, have intent. 5. The truth about AI filmmaking. And honestly, this is where some people get angry, and quite frankly, good. A lot of people think AI filmmaking is just type prompt, press button, instant movie. No. That is the farthest from the truth. That is nonsense. Making good AI scenes still requires filmmaking knowledge, editing, timing, storytelling, visual direction, shot selection, motion understanding, sound design, pacing, and patience. A lot of patience. People see a finished cinematic scene online and think it took one generation. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, I spent hours refining prompts, testing motion, reworking pacing, editing shots, adding sound, fixing choreography, color grading it, and maintaining visual consistency, and rebuilding scenes over and over again until it finally works. Because it's kind of primitive, it doesn't always tell you what you want. That's filmmaking. It's the same thing. The tools changed. The creative process didn't, and it never will. For my own projects, I still handle the story, the script, the choreography, the pacing, the editing, and overall cinematic direction myself. AI is just being used as a tool to help generate and animate visuals. That's it. For you haters out there, cope. Cope as hard as you can. Every shot still has to be directed, prompted, refined, selected, edited, creatively built through massive amounts of trial and error. And honestly, accessibility does not equal lack of effort. A lot of these projects would normally require massive budgets, huge teams, professional VFX departments, or entire studios. Those things are completely out of the question for most independent filmmakers. AI didn't replace the work for me. It made certain films possible for me that I've always dreamed of. And it makes it possible for you too. And honestly, every major shift in filmmaking has been attacked at first. CGI was called fake trash. Digital cameras were called fake cinema. YouTube creators weren't considered real filmmakers. Now AI is the next thing people are reacting to. And look, if AI-assisted filmmaking isn't your thing, that's completely fine. Don't watch. But before throwing out uninformed complaints, you should probably understand how much actual work, time, and creative direction goes into making scenes like this in the first place. Not that you would understand or be able to make it anyway. I make films that I personally would want to make. I don't take criticism from people I wouldn't take advice from. And I'm going to continue making both live action and AI-assisted film on White Star and Freedom Filmmakers because I genuinely love filmmaking and storytelling. AI is not replacing creativity, it's just another filmmaking tool. And like every major shift in filmmaking, the important thing is adapting without losing what makes storytelling meaningful in the first place. You need to remember that. Let me show you one of the scenes where I applied all of this. Granted, it's not perfect, but look at the pressure, the speed, the camera movement, the targeting, the shot explosive strikes, and the pacing. That's the difference. And if you want my exact prompts, workflows, directing process, editing techniques, and how I create cinematic AI scenes and low-budget filmmaking content like this from start to finish, that's what Freedom Filmmakers is for. I built it for filmmakers who actually want to create cinematic work instead of just generating random clips or not knowing how to use a camera in live action. At the end of the day, AI is just a tool. Good filmmaking is still good filmmaking. Good stories will always win. They will always prevail. Whether you're creating AI, live action fights, fan films, short films, or cinematic YouTube content, the fundamentals still matter. And if you fix your speed, your intent, your movement, and camera work, your scenes will instantly start looking more cinematic than most of what's online right now. So hopefully this helped, and I'll see you guys in the next one.